Do you want the air hockey table or not?
See what I'm saying?
Hey guys, Dark Horse here. So today I'm going to be talking about maturity and the difference between being a mature kid and actually being mature as a person. This video will probably be more helpful to people under or around the age of 18, but obviously if you are not in that group and want to stick around, you might still be able to get something out of this video. So during my childhood, I was always labeled as a mature kid, and I'm not saying this to brag or anything. I think it's just important to bring up for the sake of the discussion. The problem was, from my point of view, I was not actually mature looking back at it. And I don't think any kid is actually mature. When I say that, I'm not trying to bash kids. I just don't think that any kid can be mature because they haven't had a lot of life experience. I would say that there was two reasons that people called me mature. One was that I had an above average intellect, and second, and more importantly, was my personality. See, growing up, I never had that crazy kid phase where you're super loud and always running around with high energy. I was always pretty quiet and calm, and because of that, people thought I was mature, but I really wasn't. It was just who I was. And hearing this all the time, I think got to me a little bit, and I started to feel like I needed to grow up faster than everyone else around me. There was kind of a level of arrogance developing within me that I didn't realize, where I felt like I shouldn't be doing things that kids do. Before I continue, I want to make sure it's clear that I am not blaming people who called me mature for my issues. I just think that it slightly played into how I thought about myself. And this mindset that I had created would culminate during high school. Now I move to my teenage years. So my view of myself had not changed. In fact, it kind of got a little worse. I remember at 16, I used to think I was skipping being a teenager, which was a direct result of my false sense of maturity. The main source of this mindset was the fact that I was going out of my way to avoid making mistakes. See, I used to think that making mistakes would actually hurt my maturity and cause me to be brought down. I had an immense fear of messing up and making stupid teenager mistakes. And because of this, I basically prevented myself from having many meaningful and formative experiences in my teenage years. Sure, there were some here and there, but if I had the chance to avoid it, I did. The best way I could describe it was that I had built this box around myself so that I could preserve my maturity. But again, I wasn't actually mature, and to be honest, I probably declined in some areas of my life from ages 14 to 17. It's embarrassing to admit, but it's the truth. Before I move on to the next part of the video, I want to make sure that I clear some things up. When I say meaningful teenage experiences, I don't mean partying and drinking alcohol and all of that stuff. I did avoid that, but I don't regret that at all. The experiences that I am talking about are things like joining a lot of clubs, going on a trip with friends, any activities related to putting yourself out there and getting out of your comfort zone. These are the things that I regret not doing enough. And towards the end of high school, these mistakes really started to hit me. I was realizing that while I had been once called mature, I now was probably behind most people in my growth. I didn't really know how to recover, and I was pretty down on myself for it. Now we are in the present, and since I have turned 18, I have accepted my mistakes and made several realizations. 1. I am still super young. I think this realization came after I graduated high school, because when you're in high school, there's so much finality to your life and high school itself, but when you graduate, you realize that life is just getting started. 2. There is a direct connection between maturity and mistakes. While I used to believe that a mature person cannot make mistakes, it is the complete opposite. A mature person does make mistakes, probably frequently, but their maturity comes from their ability to learn from these shortcomings and come out of them improved. So now today, I do think I am mature. I am mature because I am willing to accept that I am still super young and can make stupid mistakes. Because that's how you really grow, by messing up and learning from it.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
The main thing I want you to take away is this. If you were a kid, acknowledge it. Do not try to act old and think of yourself as an adult before you are one, because you might lose out on some key learning experiences and find yourself stuck behind everyone else. But don't be nervous, you can definitely catch up. That's what I'm doing right now. If you made it this far, I really appreciate you, and I hope you were able to take something positive from this video. See you in chapter 5.
You want something, go get it. Period.